Hello, my name is Ashley Folks. I am a computer consultant here at CAO IT Services. Today I'd like to talk to you about VoIP and the difference between VoIP and the current method of using telephones, which is copper, the traditional method I should say. So businesses have to make a decision between going with typical conventional technology versus the new wave of voice technology called VoIP, or Voice over Internet Protocol. So what is VoIP? Well, VoIP stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. Basically, instead of using traditional copper phone lines to talk, you'd use your internet connection. And there's some benefits to this and some drawbacks to it. And I've summarized them here in the table we'll go over. So the traditional copper wire uses, this is like, say you're setting up an office and you had 10 extensions. Typically you would contact your service provider like TELUS, and you would order a telco line to be run in with 10 phone lines, 10 copper lines, and you'd run that to your PBX. The PBX is basically like a big telephone box where your incoming lines come in, and the PBX has hardwired switches which flip over the lines and provide extensions to all of your staff. So it's quite expensive actually to buy PBX, several $1,000s right out of the gate to buy that. Plus you're looking at phones, which will cost you another probably couple of grand. Plus you're looking for a technician to come in to set everything up, so you're looking probably about $5,000. It's a big one-time bill to get set up with a PBX with 10 extensions. Versus VoIP, VoIP has a virtual PBX, so you're not paying for that right out of the gate. You're saving a couple of grand right there. You do, however, need to buy phones. You know, each desk needs to have one. Not even necessarily a hard phone. You could even have some employees that are on the move use a soft phone. And a soft phone is essentially a cellular app, or it is a application that runs on people's computers that allow them to use the phone through their computers. So with VoIP you can get away with saving quite a bit of money right out of the bat. You save thousands of dollars. So then, safety and security. Well, any kind of security that comes along with copper wires in your own PBX system, that has to be hardened by your consultant or your tech. That's going to come out from your provider, and he's going to make sure everything is tight. With VoIP, it's monitored 24/7 by the service providers. So service providers are making sure that your system is not going to be compromised in any way. When it comes to scalability, copper wire can be limited. Your telco provider could only allow you to have a certain amount of lines. Your PBX might have a hard limit on it of, say, only 20 lines or 50 lines. So if you want to scale up, you're going to have to buy another PBX with the copper wire system. But with VoIP, since all you're using is your internet connection, that's the limitation right there. So if your internet connection can handle 100 VoIP phones, each phone usually uses about 10 kilobytes. So yeah, if you have a fast line, you can have virtually unlimited amount of phones. If you need more bandwidth, you just order a slightly bigger package from your internet service provider and kind of pay as you go. Makes a lot more sense. So features and updates. Well, the features, like say call waiting, voicemail, call forwarding, that's added at each customer location. Where with VoIP, you get automatic updates, you get automatic features. It comes loaded with features. With VoIP, you're going to get call waiting, you're going to get call messaging, you're going to get web panels where you can go in and access your phone system. You're going to get logs, you're going to get lots of features that come with VoIP. You'd really be amazed. And this stuff is all built into the system. You don't have to pay extra for those features. Now, systems management. Well, to actually maintain the system, add a new extension, a new employee comes in, an old employee leaves the company and needs to be programmed in, you need to call out a technician who's going to come on site, who's going to dial into the PBX, and it's stuff that you typically can't do yourself. It's quite a bit of training which is required. Versus VoIP, which has very easy to use web-based user portals, and you can use your IT provider, the guy that fixes your computers, to set that up for you, or you can even just tackle it yourself or have a designated employee that can just dive into the web portal, and if you know how to use web email, it's very similar to that. It's very easy to get in and set up a new user and archive an old user. Moving on, call capacity. So you're limited to the amount of shared lines that come in. So yeah, if you only have 10 lines coming into your PBX, if you have any more than those 10 calls coming in or out, you've hit your capacity and things are going to voicemail and other features kick in. But with your VoIP, you can do multiple calls per extension. So you can do voice conferencing. Since we're talking about software here, it really is flexible and allows you to do a lot more with one line. Reliability. So it's dependent on your physical hardware. Yeah, PBXs can go down. PBXs can have issues. But reliability with a VoIP is dependent on the in-house network and platform. So if you're using like a big provider like Vonage, you know, their systems rarely to never go down. They have over 99.9% uptime. So they're great. However, if your internet goes down, then yes, you're going to have issues. You're not going to be able to call out or receive calls unless you have a backup system for your internet. And if you decide to go VoIP, it might not be a bad idea to get a couple internet service providers to dial into a twin WAN router to provide some redundancy. So if one of them goes down, then it switches over to the other line and you're good to go. And that's actually costs a lot less than you think. Implementation. Yeah, well, PBXs, they need to have a closet to install it into. They have all the phone lines need to be run to it, and then the phone lines need to run from the PBX unit to all the extensions. They need to be wired up with their digital six-line cable. Yeah, it's quite complex. It's time intensive, and that means extra cost at the end of the day to get the system set up. Where VoIP is really quick and simple. You put the VoIP phone on your desk, you plug an Ethernet line into it, and then it has an extension out of the back of that, like a little mini switch that plugs into your computer. There you go, VoIP phone, good to go. It boots up and it's ready to go. Yeah, so talking about the features that VoIP systems come with, they're typically loaded with features such as voicemail, call waiting, call forwarding, web control panels, voicemail received as email, advanced call forwarding, and Outlook integration, and more. So yeah, so you can have your email tied to your VoIP system. So VoIP offers many advantages over traditional telephone systems. If it's done correctly, you usually save about 20% of your bill. And that's really the bottom line. To have a look at existing PBX system, even after you've gone and spent the money to do it, if you switched over to VoIP, you'd probably even be saving money because copper is expensive and those lines are limited. However, if you do take the VoIP dive, you want to make sure that your network can handle it. So you've got the bandwidth for the upload and you got the bandwidth for the download. You know that you're going to have enough bandwidth not only to talk on the phone and have all phone lines busy, but also be able to have your staff connect and use the phone, as well as use the internet, get access to their email systems. You don't want any of that to go wrong, so you should talk to somebody who can test your network to make sure everything is going to be fast enough. So the biggest problem with VoIP, biggest argument people would say, is reliability. Traditional copper phone lines tend to be very reliable. They don't usually go down very often. The telco technology it's old, it's established, it's trusted. And VoIP is a little newer, and it has, since it's more like a computerized system, computers can have issues. So you want to make sure if you're dealing with VoIP that your internet is up to snuff, your VoIP provider has a really great uptime, and that things are configured correctly, and you have something called quality of service on your router that your IT technician can go in and make sure that there's bandwidth reserved for your VoIP, so you're not getting any kind of weird sounds, voices. Everything is working just like a regular telephone. So yeah, if you're interested in VoIP technology and you want to learn more about it, or you even want to just get a VoIP phone and just try it out without spending a whole bunch of money, contact our office. We'd be happy to help you get started on the path to VoIP. I hope that you found this black paper informative and helpful. My name is Ashley Folks from CAO IT Service.